Hitchcock Nature Center, one of my favorite places to run. I'm here on the top of West Ridge. It was here in 2015 that my running journey changed forever. I met a bunch of 50-year-olds like myself in the same stage of life. Children, career, goals, objectives, faith. And we started running together out here in the hills of Hitchcock. We called ourselves the Breakfast Club. And it was so appropriate because almost every Saturday morning we came out here to run these trails. Super tough at times, lots of elevation, but so much fun. The Breakfast Club was a breath of fresh air for me. It was running with friends. It was being encouraged by others, encouraging others, and setting goals and objectives that I didn't think I had in me. We all found our second wind as runners. Fast forward 5-6 years later, many races that have happened with the Breakfast Club, many fun times. And then we hit 2020 where races were canceled and events were postponed. Running together became less frequent. But we saw 2021 as an opportunity to get back out, to chase those goals and dreams, to find our second wind on the trails. And so we set our goals high. Through some text conversations, we decided to tackle a challenge. And that challenge was the rim to rim to rim in the Grand Canyon. The adventure, the rim to rim to rim. Why the rim to rim to rim? Several things. Number one, it's an ultra runner's bucket list checkoff. It's something that you have to do if you love adventure and you're into running. The rim to rim to rim is 45 miles from the south rim all the way to the bottom of the canyon at Phantom Ranch, up to the north rim, and then back down to the bottom of the canyon at Phantom Ranch, and then finally back up to the south rim. Almost 11,000 feet in gain. And temperature changes for us was from 27 degrees to approximately 70 degrees. We had the perfect day. Second wind. What do I mean by second wind? When most people think of second wind, they think of runners who have run for a while, and then after they've become fatigued and tired, they've still found that strength and that second gear, that second wind, to keep running, and to not only keep running, but to feel better, to breathe easier, and to know that you're going to finish that race or accomplish a goal. Second wind is defined as a new strength or energy to continue to keep doing your activity, like for us, running, and to do it well, even beyond the point of exhaustion and tiredness. Life is full of challenges, and most people don't even realize that they have a second wind. They give up way too soon. In fact, there's some times when people are so close to the finish, so close to the goal, so close to the objective, but they can't quite see it. And that's why you need to press on, because we all have second wind. We all have that next gear in life, whatever it may be, that God has given to us, to persevere, to continue on, to meet the challenge, and to press through it. God gives us a spirit of courage, of power, not of timidity. And it's in these moments that we find out so much more about ourselves. The rim to rim to rim was a challenge for that. It gave us an opportunity to see what we had in us and to press through and find our second wind. We are mid-50-year-olds, fathers, husbands, leaders, successful people, faith-filled people who encourage each other and are encouraged. And we were so excited to get out on the trails together. Steve Sorenson, Cary Johnson, and myself. Ultra runners, always looking for that next adventure, not only in life, but on the trails. Steve's an accomplished ultra runner, having run Superior and many other 100-mile races, IMTUF, and so much more. Cary has also run the Superior 100 and has done the Arrowhead 135, a winter race up in northern Minnesota. I've done some races myself, the Superior 100 and other races, an FKT on the Wabash, and more. Late in 2020, text messages were shared, plans were made, research was done on the Grand Canyon, and the rim to rim to rim. The adventure was on. If Rob Carr and Jim Walmsley could do it, why couldn't we? Sunday morning, it's about 2:50. We're up early, making our way from Flagstaff up to the South Rim. Hopefully we'll get a good start, probably around 5:30ish or so, 5:30ish or 6, and push onward. Let's see. Well, we're starting, what is it, about 5:30ish? Starting out South Wabash Trail.
Yeah,
let's make it happen.
All right, boys, let's do it.
We hit the trails at 5:40 in the morning, and as we worked our way down, step through step through step, still in the darkness with our headlights on, but with that sunshine, that morning light starting to peek around the corners of the canyon. We were mesmerized, we were in awe. The things that you see once you get down into the canyon are simply amazing. So from the South Kaibab trailhead, we worked our way down to Cedar Point. And it was at that point the sun was coming up. We stopped, took pictures, and just took it all in, soaked it all in. What an amazing memory that we'll share there. Beautiful, God's creation, and the sun coming up, shining all of its glory. With renewed energy and with our headlamps off now, we rolled past Cedar Ridge and down, down, down to Skeleton Point. And at all phases of this stretch, the beauty was so incredible. The trails were still steep, and they were in kind of step fashion, so you were constantly moving down step by step. Couldn't really find much of a really good rhythm, but it didn't matter. We were running, we were moving, we were laughing, we were smiling. It was something that you have to see yourself, because you see a change of pace and a change of place equals a change of perspective. The perspective you get from the Grand Canyon as you go down into it is so much different than from what you see at top. We reach Skeleton Point, take some photos, and we head back onto the trail. Going down, down, and down again to Tip-Off. Tip-Off is an amazing part of the trail because it's an overlook of the rest of the downhill portion you have to get to the Colorado River. And it's some of the steepest sections that you'll run. We hit tip off, take some photos, and keep moving because we know we want to get down to the river and eventually to Phantom Ranch as soon as we can. As we're making our way down, we go across the famous Black Bridge. What an amazing sight as you're crossing the Colorado River with friends. And you really begin to realize that you're really here, that you're really doing this. Our legs felt great. Our minds were sharp. Breathing was easy. And we kept moving till we got to Phantom Ranch. And as we moved out of Phantom Ranch, the single track really started to flow. Very easy uphill grade, and it worked its way through some canyons until we got to what is called the box. Simply an amazing part of the trail. The box is a series of really tight canyons where the creek is running through. So tight that the walls are closing in on you, and it feels like you're in a box. And so high that the sun rarely shines down on this portion of the canyon. Simply beautiful, and so blessed to see all of this. And the sun's shining, and it feels great because down in the canyon, on the morning that we ran through it, it couldn't have been warmer than 60 or 65 degrees. Perfect weather in the canyon for that day. And so we continued on with the amazing, beautiful single track as it flowed through up to Cottonwood, which is another campground. We didn't stop at Cottonwood. There was no water there, so we continued on, and we finally reached our next destination, which had water, called Manzanita. So we filled up at Manzanita, enjoyed the time there a little bit, and headed back out onto the trails. It was at this point that you realized the fun part was over. It was all fun, but the fun part that we had just experienced, the rolling down on the South Rim and the easy single track through the canyons and Cottonwood, was now turning into a switchback after switchback journey. Finally, we reach the North Rim. The last half mile or so still had snow, and the trails were a snowy, icy challenge, but they weren't too bad. We finally get to the top, and there's no view at the top. But we are so excited to have accomplished the halfway point of this journey. We sit down, have some snacks, talk a little bit, and realize it's time to go. It's time to go back to Manzanita and get our water filled. Well, here we are at the North Rim.
North Rim, halfway down, halfway in.
It's a little bit different. Snow at the top.
Pine trees.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
The temperature is fantastic.
Yeah, actually, I think I like the terrain coming up the north climb.
Yeah.
And the south side better.
Yeah,
It's
cool
just-
scenery with all the cuts and rocks and light.
Yeah, canyon was super narrow. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. A little bit of a climb, but.